Hey YouTube, what's going on? How you doing? The collector's edition reveal date is today, and it got me thinking, who could it be? So I started doing some digging, some looking, and as it turns out, SDS unintentionally leaked some other news, as there will also be a Negro League edition cover. If you look at the notice, they state $1 for every Negro League edition, Digital Deluxe Edition, and MVP Edition sold in the US until December 31st, 2024. I'm assuming it's supposed to say will be donated. I know most people are hoping for Josh Gibson, though I am not sure he's going to be in the game. I think the Negro League cover athlete will be Cool Papa Bell. Page used to tell a story about Bell that he was so fast he could walk in a room, turn off the lights, get in bed, pull up the covers before the room got dark. Back in 2021, Bob Kendrick did a 2-minute long video discussing Bell's speed, noting that Jesse Owens refused to race him, and that when playing an exhibition game in Mexico, the Mexican team stopped the game in protest after Bell had gone from first to third on a single, insisting that he had cut across the infield. Kendrick also noted that Cool Papa Bell had the coolest nickname ever, which leads me to think why it will be him. Kendrick appears to be fully involved in the Negro League content that MLB The Show has been putting out, and given that they already introduced Paige and Rube Foster and Martin DeHico and John Donaldson, and Jackie's already been on the cover back in MLB 2021, I think that MLB The Show 2024 will don Cool Papa Bell as its cover. The question is when the edition will be announced. I'm assuming around the time they do the storylines mirror with Kendrick, if they follow the same lines they did last year. Now, we still have the collector's edition being announced today. Me personally, I'm hoping it's Joe DiMaggio, which means that it won't be, but let me tell you why I think it will. Over the last couple of years, you've seen Beat the Streak 56 posted throughout stadiums when you play the game. This obviously referring to his 56-game hit streak that no one has ever broken. The man was a 9-time World Series champion, 13-time All-Star, 3-time MVP, and a Hall of Famer. He was also known as Joltin' Joe, so if they bring back the Incognito cards again, they could give him a lower tier BR or World Series card. Like I said, it probably won't be, but it'd be cool if he was. I just really want him in the game. Speaking of players I would like in the game, number 2 would be Nomar Garciaparra. Nomar burst on the scene in 1997 and automatically thrust himself into the conversation of being one of the best shortstops in the league. Nomar took home Rookie of the Year in 1997, batting .306 with 209 hits, 30 bombs, and 40 doubles while driving in 98 runs. He finished his career as a .313 batter and would present the content team numerous card options throughout the years between his Rookie of the Year card, All-Star card, and Veteran card with the Dodgers towards the end of his career. Third on my list is Sandy Koufax, also known as the left arm of God. He has to be in the game this year. The fact that we're going on 10 years without him is just nonsense. Koufax is known as one of the greatest pitchers of all time, with arguably one of, if not the greatest curveball ever. Now, I've said in previous videos that they really need to fix curveballs and make them a more viable pitch, but if they can, the left arm of God would be nasty. Sandy threw 4 no-hitters in his career, along with 1 perfect game, was a 3-time unanimous Cy Young winner, only pitcher to ever be a unanimous Cy Young winner, as well as the MVP of the 1963. He posted a sub-2 ERA 3 times, once in 1963, toting a 1.88, and again in 1966 with a 1.73. The crazy thing was in 1964, he posted a 1.74 ERA and won 19 games, became in 3rd in the Cy Young voting. I'm just hoping they open up the checkbook this year and brought us some new legends. Don't get me wrong, John Donaldson was awesome this year. Pitching Randy's always fun. Pedro's fun. You get your Corey Kluber here and there. They bring back AJ Burnett. There's Roy Oswalt. There's definitely pitchers that we use, but it's always the same pitchers that we're looking forward to. You're always holding out hope and showing up early and getting a good card. I'd like something different. I'd like something that isn't strictly outlier or strictly sink or cut or meta. And Sandy and the next 2 guys I'm going to mention, they'll help to bring at least something different. And if they don't pitch well, then they don't pitch well. If the meta doesn't change, it doesn't change. But at least you can get excited for somebody that we haven't used before. Moving on to number 4, we have Johan Santana, or as he signs his autographs on occasion, Nohan, from his no-hitter he threw with the Mets. Johan is another lefty. He's not as great as Sandy Koufax, but he comes with his fair share of accolades. He's a 2-time Cy Young winner, a pitching Triple Crown winner where he had led the league in wins, ERA, and strikeouts in 2006. He's a 4-time All-Star, 3-time ERA title champion, a Gold Glove winner. This would give us another fantastic pitcher to use, and then another player with a whole bunch of different card types they could roll out throughout the year. Last on my list, number 5, is much forgotten Kevin Brown. Brown didn't have the storied career of Koufax or Johan, but he had a solid stretch in the mid-90s, where he was one of the best pitchers in baseball. Brown would be more of a mid-tier legend get for MLB The Show, though he did throw a no-hitter in 1997, and would give them a couple of solid cards to make up for us, as he was a 6-time All-Star, led the league in ERA twice, and made the All-Star game in his age 38 season, where he went 14-9 with a 2.39 ERA. Out of everybody I've mentioned, I think Johan Santana probably has the best chance, as he's already had some commentary in the game when you listen to the announcers talk. I'm pretty sure it's Chris Singleton talking about how he would throw his cutter inside and he'd be breaking bats. So there may be some hinting from 23 that they could bring him in 24. I guess time will tell. But out of everybody, I would imagine he's probably our best bet. Now, are any of these guys going to be in the game? I don't know. It's a mini wish list. There are a bunch more players that you can add to that list, starting with A-Rod, Manny Ramirez. You can go Juan Gonzalez, Rafael Palmeiro, pick any single guy from any decade that isn't in the game. They could bring back Ted Williams. They could bring back Rogers Hornsby. They need to inject some new life. I know the thing is that it's the same game, right? Essentially, it's the same game. Every year, it's going to be the same game. They may change what we have to do. They can tweak the requirements. They can tweak what we get for when we complete things. But if they don't inject new legends or bring back some of the old legends that were solid or phenomenal cards, the game's going to die out. You can only have us chase the same carrot over and over again and not expect the population to die off for so long. This past year, they killed it with too many 99s and too many duplicate cards. Too many 99s wasn't so much the problem. It was the repeated duplicate cards and asking us to do the same thing over and over again. Now, Team Affinity, as I said in the previous video, obviously got better, introducing the play 10 innings for a voucher, help move that along instead of having to grinding up against the computer with captains and cards you had no intention of ever using again. And it was all just a whole bunch of cannon fodder for sets and collections. They need to make sure that they do a solid job going into this year. I'm a little disappointed there's no tech test. Not so much because of the fact that I want to see what the gameplay is, because me personally, aside from pitching needed some tweaking, gameplay was in a pretty solid state, as again I've mentioned before. But the nice thing about the tech test is you could tell what legends they lost. You wouldn't know who the new legends were, but you could tell what legends they lost based on what cards didn't show up when you were opening up the packs to go test the game. It's disappointing that we don't have one this year. I'm hoping that the Legend Reveal trailer has a bunch of guys that are action-packed in it and jam-packed with guys that we already have, along with whoever they've managed to sign up for the coming season. For any of you that have listened, I'd love to know what you think. Who are you looking forward to? Who do you hope that sticks around? Who do you hope they don't keep anymore? Maybe you're not a Dante Bichette fan, or maybe you're not a Mike Piazza fan. Well, I doubt that. Mike Piazza's awesome. They just need to fix his damn swing. But that's neither here nor there. That being said, I appreciate the time. Until next one, have a good one.